there's no doubt about it. It's probably the scariest generation to be a parent. If you're watching this, you're probably a parent of a teenager, and I can only imagine. I just sent off my 6-year-old daughter to kindergarten at the time that I'm filming this. And there was this sober realization, and I'm sure you probably had this when you had little ones, or maybe you still do have little ones, but I was thinking, I have absolutely no control over really anything once she leaves, you know? I have no control over what other kids say to her. I have no control over if she has a mean teacher or a nice teacher. Or if she's struggling with something, I'm not going to be there to help her. If there's any kind of information that I need to clear up with her, because we know that children don't have the best logic and reasoning skills, especially at those young ages, and even now that they're teenagers. But yeah, I mean, even 100 years ago, it was probably a hard time to be a parent. You're just not able to vet the information and kind of be that filter that you want for your child. And so now more than ever, there's more of that unfiltered information that our students are able to put into their brains. And so that has to just be really, really scary. And so I want to encourage you, before we get into this video about what our products are, what social and emotional learning is that your job as a parent is unbelievably important. It's probably unbelievably stressful at times, but I just got to say it's the most important job out there, and you're probably doing a lot better than you're giving yourself credit for. So my name is Jeff Becker. I'm the founder of an organization called Can Do You. And I know it's a little bit of a weird name, but that's what we came up with once upon a time. And so if you're watching this video, your children are probably watching either their Can Do You videos at high school, or they're watching In Control SEL videos at middle school. And so what I wanted to do is I just wanted to introduce myself to you, tell you a little bit about me, tell you a little bit about where these videos come from and what's in them and why these things are in these videos. But most importantly, my goal is to let you know that we're on the same team as you. We're on the same team as the school. We're all working together. And so I just want to create some of that transparency so you know what's going on. I know that I want to know more about what's going on with what is being taught to my kid. And I'm sure that you probably have that same thing, just to make sure that whatever it is that's being taught to your kid isn't kind of going against the things that you want your child to be taught and the values that you want your child to have. So again, just a little bit of background about myself. My name's Jeff Becker. Originally from southern New Jersey, outside of Philadelphia. I have a master's degree in elementary and secondary school counseling from Wilmington University in Delaware. I've been studying and just so interested in, and I just believe that my life's work is just to help students to have their best chance at being happy, healthy, and high performing. I'm now a professor of something that's called social and emotional learning, and we'll talk more about what that is. But I'm a professor for National University for their master's degree program in education. I've won awards in education. I've won Counselor of the Year. I've won Teacher of the Year. I went into the classroom more as an experiment to make sure I have a full understanding of what's going on inside classrooms and with students. I won Teacher of the Year. I was Digital Educator of the Year for the state of Florida. And so I'm not telling you all of those things to brag about myself. I'm just telling you those things that, just so you know, because if I was a parent, I would want to know that this curriculum that my child's getting isn't just like some made up stuff from some made up organization by some guy that just, was just left unchecked. There is curriculum out there, and there are lessons out there that are like that. And like I said, there's really not some governing organization that's checking these things out outside of the school counselors and principals and teachers that are checking these things out. So again, I just wanted to let you know that I am credentialed. I am a professional. I'm a thought leader. I'm regarded as a thought leader in the field of social and emotional learning. So let's talk about what that is. It sounds kind of weird. I wish social and emotional learning wasn't called social and emotional learning, because I don't think that it gives an indicative, it doesn't paint a good picture of what it is, or why it's important, or why it's in schools, and most importantly, why your kid's getting this curriculum or watching these videos. So social and emotional learning, let me explain it as this. Here's a metaphor that I like to use. And just hang with me. You might be like, what is this guy talking about? So imagine you're a pit crew for a NASCAR team, and your car comes in for a pit stop, and imagine that somebody from the pit crew runs up to the guy driving the car, the guy or the girl driving the car, and says this, and says, "You just need to win the race. What are you doing in here? Get back out there." The driver of the car would be like, "Wait, what? No, I need gas, I need tires, I need to make tweaks to the alignment. There's something that's rattling under the hood. I need to make improvements to the different parts of my car in order for the car to run better, in order for me to even have a chance of winning this race." So that metaphor I like to use, because that's a lot like what social and emotional learning is. Social and emotional learning is helping students to improve these competencies that they have socially, social skills, you get social skills, socially, and also emotionally, and we'll explain that a little bit more. But social and emotional learning, you can rest assured that everything that falls under this philosophy of social and emotional learning, and the philosophy is that if we improve these competencies of kids, they're going to be that much more successful. If we improve their social skills, their emotional capabilities, the way that they understand themselves and the world, if they can understand those things better, they are going to be happier, healthier, and higher performing. So where was I? Sorry, I lose train of thought. And so this will help you to understand that this is completely unscripted. This is just me shooting you parents straight from the heart. So social and emotional learning, it's a philosophy that says when we increase those things, kids get better. But the other cool part that I think you would want to know is that everything SEL, that's the abbreviation, SEL is research-based and evidence-based, meaning that there has been research done, tons and tons and tons and tons of research, and I'll even probably link somewhere around here on the screen to reassure you that this isn't just some stuff that Jeff Becker's making up. Because that's where stuff gets dangerous. That's where people start bringing in their own agendas or their own beliefs or their own values. And that can be really scary for a parent as well, because you as a family, you have family values. You have family beliefs. You have different viewpoints, different religions, different cultures, different ways of life. And so the last thing that social and emotional learning should be, and that's the last thing that Can Do You and In Control SEL are, the last thing in the world that they are, they will not be anything that reflects my values or even the school's values. These are skills-based lessons. And I'll talk about what they are in a minute, but they aren't value-based lessons. This is not character education, because again, character education, that can be very subjective. You know, a behavior that the world might think is awesome, you might as a family not agree with. And so everything that we do is research and evidence-based, meaning that there is a piece of research that shows, tells, or explains the fact that that this is going to help your student to be happier, healthier, higher performing, more mentally healthy. It's going to help them. So before I actually talk about that, let's talk about the 5 areas that are going to be improved, and that'll give you a better understanding. So the 5 areas that social and emotional learning kind of aims to increase in your child are, the first one is self-awareness. So again, this isn't anything weird. This isn't anything emotionally weird, touchy-feely kind of stuff like that. It teaches students self-awareness is the first one. That's teaching your student that they should know more about themselves, or the fact that the more we know about ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, our hot buttons, our blind spots, the more we know about ourselves, the more we can kind of put ourselves in a position to succeed. So essentially it says that if we can help students to be more self-aware about themselves and understand who they are, their personalities, their talents, all of these things, that it can help them to be more successful. And so I would imagine, I can't speak for everybody, but I would imagine as a parent, you're like, yeah, you know, I want my student to know that. The second one is self-management skills. Well, now that your student has been taught who they are and how they operate and what their brain is like and their talents and all these cool things, how do you have self-discipline? How do you hold yourself accountable? How do you make really good decisions about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, how to fight temptations, things like that. So again, it's just very black and white. Studies show that if we can help our students to have more self-discipline, have more grit, more perseverance, things of that nature, it's going to help them to be more successful in school and in their future. The next one is social awareness. So that's having empathy for other people and trying to put yourself in other people's shoes. That's the way that the world works. That you need to be on time for things. That's the way that the world works, and that people make first impressions of you, and how to make a good first impression on people. Social awareness is also the understanding that there are millions of different viewpoints in the world. It's not saying that one viewpoint is right. And so as a parent, you know, there's a lot of stuff in the media, and I really don't want to get into all that kind of ugly stuff, that students are being pushed to believe one thing, and that might not jive with what you have going on as a family. Well, social and emotional learning is exactly the opposite, is saying that you don't have to believe what other people believe. You don't have to go along with what other people believe, but you do have to understand that other people are going to believe other things than you, and that other people are going to look different, sound different, talk different, be from different places, and all of those kinds of things. And hopefully you agree with this, is that people have the right to be treated with dignity, and that manners are a big deal. So that's social awareness. The next one is relationship skills. And so that's not necessarily dating. 6th grade dads out there, don't flip out. But in relationship skills, how to get along with other students, how to get along with teachers, how to get along with other people in your community. Understanding that relationships take work and they take skills. So we teach them relationship building skills. And then finally, healthy decision-making skills. That's a no-brainer. If you have a teenager, you know that they're not always thinking about decision-making skills. So those are the 5 big core competencies that research shows us that if we can build those 5 core competencies, that are social skills and emotional regulation skills, that our students are going to be better. And so I don't know what you and your family believe. I don't know what your values are as a family. But here's my encouragement, is to have lots of conversations with your kid. Ask them what they're learning. I know middle schoolers and high schoolers, they don't like to talk to their parents in most cases, and they're like, oh, I don't know. When you ask them, what'd you learn today? Oh. Just keep the conversation going with your kid. Be there to support them. Know that their pushback is just their way of figuring out the world. Keep being a positive influence in their life. Help them navigate this really hard time of their life. They're really figuring a lot of stuff out. The second thing is trust your school. Ask a lot of questions of your school. It's okay, keep them honest. You know, schools are here to serve the public. They're public schools. If you go to a public school or a private school, you're paying tuition, you should know these things about what's going on. The teachers and the counselors and the principals should be able to speak to the things that are in these videos. Our middle school curriculum at this time has parent guides. So you can check out the parent guides that come along with this that tells you everything that we're teaching your child. You have every right in the world to know what we're teaching your child. If you have more questions about it, I would recommend that you lead with questions. Do your best to just not immediately jump into an argument. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. But hopefully, that I know we don't know each other, and I know I'm on the other side of a video screen from you, but hopefully it helped you to trust me and my organization at Can Do You or In Control SEL. We work really hard to make sure we honor the parent, because we know that without parents, we're nothing. So the last thing that we want to do is, go against your wishes or teach your kid anything weird that you're going to be disappointed with or upset with. And I believe that we've done a phenomenal job throughout our videos. We tell your students to honor their parents and what their parents' wishes are for them. And we hope that that shines through, and we hope that your kid is that much better for it. And we hope that you trust that, or I hope that you trust that my goal is to have your kid just be really happy and healthy and to have a really great future. So hopefully that aligns with what you want. My name's Jeff Becker, and thank you for watching this video, and thank you for allowing your child to be a part of our curriculum, and we just really hope it helps.